Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio. God, I did that like Walter Cronkite. Like, good evening. All right, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the platform that apparently is a haven for bass players. Yes, we've had so far James Alexander, we had Flea, who had nothing but kind words for our guest today. Of course, the Mono Neon episode, which was you guys were highly happy with. Today is no exception. I got to get a drummer on here eventually. But I will say it's probably reductive to just refer to our guest as a bass player, or a Grammy-winning bass player. I really don't know the proper superlative that could accurately describe our guest today. Quirky, genius, very distinctive, very original. I love his work because it's full of truth and humor and pain mixed at the same time. It scares me to hear his music because these are often the thoughts that are in my head.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So as we celebrate Black Music Month, we at QLS here are happy to welcome the one and only Thundercat to the show. What's up, bro?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, number one, you got to show me this chain, man.
Oh, man. Okay.
What's the Doom?
I wore these because I wanted to get a chance to talk to you about them. This is a very, very special story.
Can you hold it up to our...
There's
wow.
two of them. If you look on the inside, there's an inscription too. Wow. These were created by Han Cholo, who was the person who
created the actual Doom mask.
Yeah. And on the inside it says, "Here lies Victor Von Doom, aka Daniel Dumoulin, R.I.P. 1971-2020." There's a story behind them.
What's the story?
Okay, so there's a little bit of a history between me, Flying Lotus, Doom, working on a couple of things together. Mm-hmm. This specific moment where these come about or these take effect, they were like some things I think that were released for Adult Swim, mm-hmm. and it was like one song was called "Between Friends and Between Villains," and it was kind of like Captain Murphy, Flying Lotus. So it's kind of like him spitting, and like it's one of those moments where from that. Fast forward, there's so many, like the legendary stories of how he really was the villain /
right.
He'd be doing all kind of stuff. Like, man, wait a minute, is that him? This takes place. These two take place after he's moved back to London, and I think I'm forgetting one of the songs that was also leading to this. There's a song called "Lunch Break" on Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay, where this was a moment of Doom also like kind of getting back into doing stuff. So it's like it was kind of like the idea or notion of getting a chance to work more with them was mm-hmm. like really oh my god, it's exciting. It's and how
many songs were completed at all? Or
I mean I feel like Flying Lotus would know more a bit.
Okay.
But I know that there was a couple, and but nonetheless I have a Doom tattoo. You know what I mean? Like and coming to the knowledge of Doom is such like a spiritual experience. You know what I mean? It's like for anybody, and I think that's kind of why the mask kind of even just resonates with people.
Because I know of the love that he has now, and I often wonder. I sort of experienced this firsthand when Kool Keith. He came to me as, 1/4 of the Ultramagnetic MCs.
Yeah.
And then he had this whole nother afterlife. Now, Doom to me, like, because of my age, I guess, or my experience, and on third base in the gas face, like, he's always been Zev Love X to me. And I had to get accustomed to Doom because it was so radically different than just your traditional breakbeats and stuff. But like I would like to ask, like, people that worship at the altar of Doom, like, is there ever any curiosity into his
past,
his Clark Kent period?
absolutely,
In his past? Okay,
absolutely. And you gotta, for me, it's kind of like I would have to go backwards because it's like I'm removed by about 10, 12, 15 years.
okay.
And I would come to discover that stuff later on after.
Right. Okay, that's what I want to know.
It's a reverse osmosis thing for me.
I got it. Okay.
And again, I come from a history of that with the dudes at Sarah, where it was like, do your history, go backwards and know where things came
Right.
from.
Okay.
And the leading to these changes being made, there's like this him expressing to want to work more, but I would have to go meet him in London because he wasn't allowed
back
back
in the States, right?
Good Lord, that did not age well, right?
No.
But we were like, nah, whatever it takes, it don't matter. I'm pulling up. I was like, I saw the goal. I saw I know where we were going. And
what could have been?
Man,
oh my God, what could now I'm thinking about it like what could have been?
Flying Lotus, and it was we were building a nuke, you know what I'm saying?
I always, at least in my head, and this is weird for me to ask the question because, like, I know now, like, I'm playing the role of journalist and you're the artist, but I also forget that in my day job, I'm one of you. However, in situations, and I do want to, like, do a deep dive into the whole brain feeder ecosystem. If it is Lotus, Doom, and you, like, who winds up being who's the alpha and someone has to be 51, 49, do they not? Or
in a way, when speaking of it in that terminology, I think in a way there's a place that exists in the heart of wanting to see it, knowing that the value of it is worth its ability to figure it out. So it's almost as if
it's being the president, and if it works, it works.
Exactly. So like even when me and Lotus would look at each other, it would be like this. It was like Star Trek. It was like, make it so. It was like, here we go.
All right. See, this is why I have this platform, because, I think because of my drill sergeant dad, like, has made me into such a control freak that I'm almost afraid to have that level. I mean, I guess you could say I might have had it with D'Angelo, but even with him, by like month one, I think I was operating in fear because label people would drop by. Right. And, mind you, this is 96, 97, so everything's like sexy and shiny, and they're thinking he's going to come up with like 112's Only You.
Right. And Jabot jeans with a big belt buckle and
right. And by like the first year, I was like, oh God, they're gonna blame me. They're gonna blame me for this, So I just was never in that place.
That's awesome.
I would try to reel it backwards, like the crazier they got.
Right.
So
right.
Okay. But I always wanted to know that. What is your first musical memory in life?
Ooh. There's something that did pop in my mind, and I vaguely remember it. I don't know if this was like, this is from a different era of like, I don't even know. I'm remembering it wrong, I'm sure, but I remember. I think this was in Detroit with my mom, and
where were you born?
I was born here in L.A.
Okay.
Raised in Compton for maybe the first 10 some odd years of my life.
84 to 94?
Oh yeah, I'm from Compton. Like my dad's really from Compton. Like my dad is like Compton, went to like Centennial, and then when the family, my dad married my mom, and she was from Inkster, Michigan, and she moved to L.A. to be with my dad, and we in that first few years of life, I think they were maybe trying to figure out if where we were gonna go, or And I remember my mom always make sure to try to remind me of things like, growing up at church out there, or like, I don't remember anything. I remember McDonald's. I remember, like drawing the Ninja Turtles and getting in trouble and falling off a swing. I think I got in trouble for flashing my neighbor. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I remember it snowing a lot. I think remember a cat pooping.
In Compton?
No. This is in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, no, not snowing in Compton.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
No, Compton was, I from what I can remember growing up in Compton, I just remember my grandma's back door that led to the kitchen. I think I got in trouble there a lot.
You got in trouble a lot, did you?
I would imagine. I think there's a couple moments that I can see in my brain. Like, I think there was a garage, and I think there was like this brick wall around our house that was blocking us off from the main road and the freeway and everything, but it was like concrete. And I think I remember standing facing the corner with like a voice changing helmet and my toy guitar that was like, but it wasn't like because I was in trouble. I just think I liked the corner, and I liked how it made my voice sound. So I would like face the corner and like play with the toy. I don't know. Maybe that sounds weird. I'm pretty sure it does. But yeah, no, but it was lived between Compton and for a small stint of time, Inkster, Michigan.
Okay.
And my first memory would be singing this song. I don't know, it was for church or something with my brother, where it was like, I remember, take my life and let it be consecrated. And I don't remember what it was for. I feel like there was a video, and that was the only time I can remember wearing a suit. I think I hated it.
Ever in life?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that was I feel like I remember it was like my mom had us in, it was like Christmas suits. I had like a green suit with a bolo tie. It was like a seersucker. And I think I was like, never again.
And you stuck to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you said you're from Compton, and I'm certain that that's maybe 90% of your reactions, but I also realize that my reactions are based on what I hear from the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we live where we live.
Yeah.
I'm now questioning everything I hear. So I will ask you, what do we get wrong about Compton? And was that just marketing to sell some records? Or, because the thing is that my mother's side of the family left Pittsburgh and moved, half of them moved to Altadena. And I think my grandmother got a house in Compton. So apparently I lived in Compton for 1 year in 1973 while my parents went to make a record. Right. And, I have slight memories of childhood. And,
but it wasn't that.
Yeah, so, was it just the marketing? Like, what was your Compton neighborhood like? Or more specifically, if you were this quirky, eccentric kid, or this person that you are now, how do you navigate that in your childhood? Because I was that person in my neighborhood. Yeah. And by the age of 5, my parents were wise enough to be like,
we got to move.
You're staying in the house. So
yeah, okay.
They wouldn't let me go outside because they just thought like you're way too vulnerable. Yeah. You'll get beat up every day. And so I just lived in the house with records.
I hear you.
So how did you navigate that?
There's a lot of intersectional points from academically to socially that existed for the places that we were growing up and stuff like that. And starting from, it's like I got two versions of the story for what this is, because there is the person that's got their head in the clouds, so to speak, that has to be kind of like, all right, Stephen, and that takes place a little bit later in life, like from maybe 13 up, and that was on meeting Reggie Andrews. I only saw a video of him in the Daz Band on the funeral, and my jaw was on the floor. I was like,
so you didn't know Let It Whip or Let It All Blow or Joystick or
No, I knew all the songs.
None of them joints?
I knew all the songs. I knew everything, but again, aesthetically or seeing it in action, I didn't know what that was. I was like, I always would hear like Mr. Andrews was like, oh, Earth, Wind, and Fire level. Like I would be like, you mean the guy that wears the cardigan with the I'm like, nah, I just don't see it. And then I saw it, and I was like, If that's what he was instilling in me, oh yeah, I can't even. I'm like, there it is.
How long did he teach at the school?
Oh, since it was built from the ground up. There's a picture of him at the beginning of the school getting built. Yeah, with a silver shovel.
Who else of note went there? Because literally, you gotta be the 20th person I know that's name dropped.
Oh man, the Far Side, Patrice. There's again, it's leaving my mind. Terrace Martin.
Okay.
I mean, that, off the top, that's just the first thing. There's a lot.
What did he teach you
Earth,
guys?
Wind and Fire horn section.
Yeah.
Gerald Albright. Good Lord. What was he teaching us?
Yes.
Mr. Andrews. Good Lord. What didn't he teach us? He taught us how to be men. We used to have a program called Men of Lock Delegation. Mm-hmm. Tyrese Gibson too. Mm-hmm. You know. My older brother Ronald. Good Lord. But it's like he taught us how to survive, like for real. Like he taught us how to survive. Like our school was central to multiple gang territory.
How do you avoid that?
Mr. Andrews will whoop your ass. Like he was that teacher. He'd be like, "Don't come in here with that," and he would drop kick you in the hallway. He was like, for me and my brother, he was like a second father. Like my dad had known Reggie maybe since high school to college. Mm-hmm. And so it was one of those things where like my dad was like, when Mr. Andrews was like, when they are of age, you know where to send them. Because he started teaching early on, I think. But in the bigger scheme of the experience of growing up, we grew up on the line between Compton and Watts, which was separated by the 105 freeway.
Okay.
So it's like I don't know, like we kind of slowly migrated further north, like landing in like West Adams by the time I was about 13, 14, which is where this all kind of meets in a different place.
Okay.
So it's like me in middle school, I would get picked up. Me and my brother, we were going to go to Locke High School. I wanted to go to Fairfax for illustration. Okay. Like, you know, I was like, I knew Todd McFarlane went there. I was like, I want to be an illustrator, you know? Okay. And my dad was like, absolutely not. Was like, why? Because it was one of those things that I think there's I don't know, man. I don't know if there's like an undertone of like, you know, nah, you will definitely be broke for the rest of your life. I don't know what that was, but it was also like me, the wanting to be the illustrator versus Mr. Andrews being at the helm. Mm-hmm. I think it was my dad knew the importance of us being with Reggie Andrews.
Is this him?
No, that's Don Cornelius.
No, come on now. I know who Don Cornelius is.
Oh, no, that ain't him. No, that ain't him.
Okay. I'm on an old episode of Soul Train. He played keyboard, so...
If he's on Soul Train, you're going to blow my mind, too.
No, he's definitely on... I mean, the Daz Band's on Soul Train.
That looked like... No, that's not him.
No?
No, I can't. I may not... See, man, I can't... I see I know I can recognize people's faces, but Mr. Andrews with a Jerry curl is that him right there on the far left? That's him on the far left? Is that right there that just pointed to the drummer?
Yes.
Wait, no, that can't be Reggie Andrews. No, hold on. It's a whole lot of members. Hold on.
Well, they've had members throughout the...
Yeah, like... that looked a little bit like Nia to me. I'm like, they had the softness of the face. I was like, wait a minute.
I definitely know one of these cats is Reggie Andrews.
Yeah, because I'm saying, I was like, wait a minute. All I see is a handlebar mustache. I don't know how long he's had the handle.
I feel like there should be a documentary short on him.
On his mustache.
Or just, yes, on the mustache.
Yeah.
What did your parents do? I know your dad was a musician.
Yeah, mom and dad, both musicians. My mom used to play in the Philharmonic. My dad...
What did she play?
Flautist, and a bit of percussion. And she, again, also grew up playing at Crenshaw Christian Center and all that. And then my dad was more of a road-traveled musician who worked with many people like Jody Watley. Okay. Again, as I get older, I just, sometimes I don't remember every last thing, but I know my dad was a very working musician. Okay. And then also kind of has been working at Disneyland for the majority of my life. Yeah. Pops is He's a G, man.
Really?
He is a G. I'll never forget the day he got the job working at Disneyland. That was as a kid. It's like I don't have too many core memories because it's all washed over and all the things that we're talking about.
Right.
But I do remember seeing my dad in a grass skirt playing in the Lion King parade.
Word?
It was it's a core memory. Yeah. Yeah, it was a big deal. And I remember he was blushing, he was trying to play, and he was playing djembe.
Really?
Yeah, he was playing djembe, and he was walking down, and he was like, he saw us like waving and stuff, and he was like, oh, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. Saved our lives.
So, would you often go to Disneyland like routinely?
Yeah, like
this explains everything.
Yeah, like I used to
If
hang
I
out.
had access to Disneyland this much, then that means
I would hang out in Tomorrowland. I would hang out in Tomorrowland and play video games and go see Captain EO. Like I would just
routinely.
Well, you know, like within the time. Well, there was a small window because right as a kid, that's when all this stuff started happening with Mike.
Right.
Which we, you know, here we go. You know, God bless his heart.
Got you.
But I remember just going and being like, oh, I don't want to get on any rides. I'm gonna just go hang out in the arcade. It was like Beavis and Butthead. It was like, you know, like Zach and Cody, but no camera. And
What's the age difference between you and your brother?
2 years.
Okay.
The older brother, and then there's 10 the other way. So Jamil is 10 years younger, and Ronald is 2 years older.
Ronald, of course, is monster drummer, and your younger brother, what does he play?
Pianist, keyboards and piano. He used to play accordion, which I'm still going. My little brother used to play accordion.
Oh, so he's instantly gonna like. How come this hasn't happened yet?
I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. I need to go ahead and get him that accordion. I'm like, bro, there's not too many black dudes that play accordion, bro. You need to lock in.
Oh my God. To do that. One of my most treasured moments at the Tonight Show is us teaching. Speaking of which, I think when Doom passed, or I'm forgetting when we did this, but we made Weird Al Yankovic learn accordion.
Yeah.
And we did it on the Tonight Show.
It's for the culture, bro. Like it's Jamil. I'm saying, bro, like pick the accordion back up, bro.
Dude. Oh my God, I will use him instantly.
Look.
Yeah, because savuka, in Brazilian music, savuka is
it's important, man.
Monster accordion player.
Like imagine like keeping that thing on you. You be like, oh, what's popping? Oh.
No,
nothing. Hold on. Let me just pull out my...
dude.
Are y'all jamming right now? Hold on. Let me just
coming
lock
from
in.
you guys' lineage, that would make absolute sense to me. Do you remember your first concert ever?
Yes, I do. I think I do.
Who was it?
It was Chucky Booker and Janet Jackson on the Rhythm Nation tour, and I wore a Ghostbusters outfit, and I remember Janet rubbing her booty and my mom trying to cover my eyes.
What?
I never forgot that. And that was the day I fell in love with the tune Turned Away, too. That's still my jam to this day. To this day, that's the one.
Oh, my God. That does inform, yes.
The bit of the bass playing.
If you were born 20 years earlier, I can see those are your chord structures.
Jimmy Jam, Chucky.
See, the novice would just say like, oh, George Duke Zap all day. Now I see.
Oh, it's deep in the DNA. You know, it's just.
Do you remember when's the first time that you got on a stage to perform for an audience? Your first audience, your first performance.
First performance. I mean, like, that's a good question because there's again, I don't know if it's you know, when you growing up in church, I don't know if I would consider that performing for me because it's like I would always like to consider the first performance the first time somebody paid me, because everything else is just like what's your backup plan?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so I don't count church either. And I don't count playing with my dad either.
That's what I'm saying, because it's like it's part of the
so the first
enrichment.
Non-family lineage, non-spiritual community gathering, something that you yourself created or you got hired for. There were no bands in the school that Mr. Andrews organized you guys at, or?
Yes, there was. Again, I really think about this. I know Fernando Pullum, who was also another one of the music educators in Los Angeles, that is of great importance. That with the programming and stuff like that for kids and music. But at the time that we grew up, the Terraces, the Ronalds, the Kamasis, we had a lot of like care, or a lot of like Nissan and the Thelonious Monk Institute.
Right.
They would come together, the Playboy Jazz Institution. They would come together and find things and have like this. Mr. Andrews had a band called Multi-School Jazz Band. And it was like, if you could play, it's not about how well, it's like if you can play, bring your kids here to Locke High School. You had to drive to Locke High School, which was definitely like
a challenge.
If you come through, if you dare after school, hey man, it's. But at the same time, driving down Say Street, again, those friendships and the people that we met there are still our lifetime.
Still going to this
Here we
day.
go. Yeah. So Reggie Andrews had Multi-School Jazz Band, and
okay, so the musicians that I grew up with, and here's the thing that most people can't not fathom or whatever, but there's a period where I will say, if you are a teenager or in your mid-20s, especially in the 60s, and then you had this debaucherous hedonism 70s sort of pushback existence. Like everything that all the ideas of the 60s just sort of whittled away, and then people just went batshit crazy in the 70s.
I love that.
But but here's the thing though, starting with like Ronald Reagan's America, like the original 1.0 version of Make America Great Again, suddenly turned this crazy deluge of just conservatism, and so I kind of grew up like my parents were super hip, but then around 81, suddenly. We're a Christian household, and you can't listen to secular music. I had Prince punishments all the time.
Whew, Prince punishments, that's crazy. So he was in his draws though.
Yeah, but I was like the education was worth getting my ass whooped.
The enrichment, yeah, exactly.
However, I will say that a lot of I will say 95% of my music community suddenly had no references. Like I defiantly listened to Prince so I can get that musical education.
Yeah.
Whereas the closest they might listen to Stevie Wonder, but most of the time they're listening to commissioned.
Yeah.
And commissioned
Manhattan Transfer Commission.
Yeah, like, but
Amy Grant.
Right.
Yeah. You be knowing. Look, knowing.
So my whole point is, because I grew up in a household knowing what bands were and who to idolize, that stuff just whittled out in the 80s, and by the 90s is almost like non-existent. If he's preparing you to be musicians, who are you guys looking up to when all that's left is Tony and
Mint Condition?
Like by the time I got a record deal, there was like 7 bands left.
Right.
So who are you idolizing? Like, I see myself in that, or is this how you wind up in Suicidal Tendencies?
This is man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That moment, that what you're saying right now, that's a real thing. I felt like in a way we had to feed off of each other.
Got you.
So growing up and realizing like, it was almost like the movie Kids. It was kind of like we made our own rules.
God damn.
Yeah, we would be outside. Me,
Don't scare me like this.
me, Kamasi, Austin Peralta, like Zane Musa, like Ryan Porter, Ronald. We would be doing whatever felt right to us. There's that, and then the reality of there's this big gap and bridge that doesn't exist that you're talking about. That nobody walked us across, but like growing up with Reggie Andrews and my father and my mom, who it wasn't all just like Christian music growing up. It was like we were listening to Tony Williams and Stanley Clarke and George Duke and Billy
Cobham.
Cobham.
About jazz. I'm sorry.
No, but that's what we were listening to.
Right. Okay.
There was no mistaking where to go. So like I would be surprised growing up, even as we're talking about this gap between like the bands and all these things like this, and then what the 80s were into the 90s. there was like I would be surprised because even for me, like growing up with a household full of drummers, the stuff like even just using like using Tony Williams as an example, the amount of my friends that didn't know who Tony Williams was growing up, it was almost like me and my brother or my brothers were speaking like an alien language a lot of the time, and it's like if growing up with Miles and Tony and John McLaughlin and Alan Holdsworth as preference, that wasn't. It was mostly a lot of gospel musicians that were like inspiring more musicians growing up. Again, which is where a lot of it would come out of. But we were like, we knew everything from the Manhattan Transfer to John McLaughlin.
Right.
There was no, and then you got Reggie Andrews being like, it's what you make it. Mr. Andrews taught us it's what you make it. So we would be outside. We would like Kamasi got a Mustang, like it was like a 76, like not a good one, like one of the ones that are break down.
Just enough to get you from here to there.
If we would have hit even getting rear-ended, we all would have been buried in the car. It was like we had the drums and then the upright bass and then Kamasi with the saxophones. I'd be in the back, fit like a Jenga piece, and because Ronald always had the front seat, so I'd be wrapped around the bass drum in the bass, and we would get to the gig. They'd be like, man, they gonna pay us, and we also can eat. And they'd be like, man, this was one of the joys of growing up because, you know, people would hire us to do stuff. And it'd be funny as hell because we get to somebody's thing, you know, like people, you know how people do the thing where they hold the phone up and request something from the DJ. And you'd be like, man, shut your ass up. People will walk up and be like, hey man, can y'all play some, yeah, man, can y'all play some, I don't know, it's like, you know, play some vibey music. And Kamasi would be like, yeah. And then you turn to us and be like, you're gonna play the message. Next step, giant steps,
right?
And like, what'd you say? You wanted to hear some Prince? Okay, hold on.
Someday,
I'll be right. Yeah, like I'll be right back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It just full tilt.
Were you proficient in the fake book?
Oh yeah, that's what we lived our lives by growing up.
I think I explained this on previous episodes. If you're learning to play jazz. We refer to the fake book is basically the Wikipedia of probably the 500 jazz standards that you have to know.
You just got to know.
Autumn Leaves, and it's just chords.
Yeah.
So,
and if you don't, this is the book. This is the
this is the
make
Bible
it easy for you.
every jazz song you need to know before you even call yourself a jazz musician. You call it a fake book, which was the opposite of. I guess there's a real book counterpart, but there was better songs in the fake book. Correct?
Yeah,
I got that. Wait, first of all, how did the bass call you? Why did you choose the bass?
I think I genuinely like, again.
Because the bass gets no attention.
It's not supposed to or something, right?
But yet,
I mean, unless you're Charles Mingus and you punch somebody, and you know, I don't know. You know, you got like there's a slippery slope for said bass players.
Besides Larry Graham, like I really don't know. I mean, maybe Raphael, but even that, Raphael's usually 1/3 of another entity.
Yeah.
Like you don't see, you know, the saxophone is supposed to be the guitar.
I always said the horn player line is funny for me because it's like you got two modes with horn player. It's either, I mean, no offense to anybody, but I always said it's the line between Kenny G and Kenny Garrett.
Do you know what his email is?
What's his
Kenny Garrett's email?
What's his?
Oh, I can't say it on here.
Yeah, like
I don't want to dox you.
You know, like Tim Capello, the guy from the Lost Boys movie where he had his shirt off with the saxophone. That used to like haunted me.
The sax, yes.
That was, I mean, the song. I mean, again, I love the Lost Boys. I love the song, but I remember I being like, man, playing saxophone with your shirt off is crazy work. And then I got Kamasi, and then we were on the other side listening to Ornette Coleman and you know what I'm saying, like and Coltrane and all this, and Sonny Rollins, and like, you know, and I'm sitting here like,
so kids into free jazz.
Oh, we were going turbo as kids. Me, oh my God, seriously. Like Pharoah Sanders, we were on the other side of the spectrum. And literally and figuratively, Kamasi, we would just he would be at school, and then afterwards we play a little bit of PlayStation, but the rest of the night we were running the streets playing these standards and playing original tunes. And again, I'm so grateful for the years that we spent doing that. You know, like the part where we got to grow together, because I'm looking at the landscape of things now. Everything, it doesn't go anywhere; it just changes shape. And sometimes I look at it and I look at the type of men that we've become and I go, wow. And I look to the generations underneath us and it feels like they were just thrown off a cliff when it comes to stuff. But then at the same time, I go, as it should be, because you have to make it yours. Whatever it is, that's what it is for the next generations. You just make it yours, because we had no rules to how we would show up.
I'm relishing in the fact. All right, so I went to school with McBride, Christian McBride, and Kurt Rosenwinkel.
Yeah,
and that was my Bloods and Crips.
Hey,
because in order to get Christians' respect, you had to know.
You had to know that
straight jazz.
Yeah,
but then Rosenwinkel is also feeding you.
Yeah,
Captain Beefheart.
Yeah,
and Montevici Orchestra and stuff. And then on that, I'm cheating on both of them with Tariq.
Yeah.
But the thing is just that I never could find cats that look like me that were really into free jazz. Like I entered Miles Davis via Bitches Brew.
Right.
And then went backwards because I belonged to Columbia House, and I'm really dating myself with all these references. But, getting this entire disc thing, but I just never had cats to play free jazz with. Because the thing was like, well, you learn the basics and the foundation first, then you go to free jazz.
Right.
But I never had that.
It shows up how it shows up.
I wish I had that experience with that. Like, who are your three bass gods?
Bass gods? Stanley, Jocko, and and Anthony Jackson.
Of course. Okay. The legendary Anthony Jackson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Straight up.
So what is your morning routine? What is the first thing you do in the first half hour of your day?
I try not to cry, and then I try to not pick I try not to pick my phone up. And then the first half hour is it's really jolting for me, because it almost feels like somebody threw cold water on me. So in that 30 minutes, if I'm not careful,
how long does it take you to not grab the phone? Because the thing is, I wake up feeling great.
Yeah.
And then the second I want to feel like it's 2026.
Yeah.
I pick the phone up. Sometimes the evidence sort.
Yeah.
Oh, we're living in hell right now.
Yeah. Out the gate.
And the guilt that I feel with letting 2 hours go by in bliss.
Yeah.
Is I'm doing that as a daily practice. Do not pick your phone up till 10. But of course,
yeah.
But for you though,
for me, I have my little routine. I love to go get my little coffee and read some comics. I train boxing.
Okay.
As often as possible. So everything is always me. It's kind of leading up to that for me until there's after. So there's before and then there's after of working out for me. And it's I didn't realize we were crazy in LA until maybe just the last couple years. Somebody had to bring it to my attention. She was like, you do know you're crazy, right? And I was like,
initially, I gave this award to Prince's Dinner with Dolores because I love the line, "No more, that's the end," and the song just stops. But when you said, I'm from Los Angeles, right? And it's one thing if it just cut off there. I would have been like, oh, that's clever. It'd have been another thing if the laughter that ensued afterwards was in-studio banter. But the fact that you mixed it and, put the effect on the laugh, that made me listen to that song 10 times over just to analyze everything about it. Which, how self-aware of you are, and I'm certain, and I'm assuming that all of your therapy talk in your records is real life experiences.
I do need another therapist, to be honest.
Hey, dog, I have 3 of them right now at the moment. So there's no. When I'm saying I'm going full in on therapy, I have 3.
Man,
so
I'm about to be right behind you. Help!
Let's
help! Please help.
When did you become self-aware that you need to live your authentic life? Because I was told to hide this. I think I look at you kind of with envy because the answer for me was hide, don't go outside because you'll get picked on, you'll get bullied. And then
we were getting shot at for sure, but even staying inside, you would get shot at even if he was inside in LA. That's one of the reasons why we moved from Compton though.
Okay,
my dad.
The Compton thing was real.
It was to have made. It's
Can I ask what was the straw that broke the camel's back that
For
was
sure.
Like we were out of there?
It was definitely somebody shooting at my dad on the porch from across the street.
Just for fun, or?
Probably high off a sherm or something.
Oh, God.
And when my dad tells me, because it's like, again, growing up in that era, you could fall victim to it no matter at any point. If you asked Vince Staples, he would tell you the same thing. Growing up in LA in this certain era, it doesn't mean that it's always adjacent. It's right here. It's right here. It doesn't mean you got to get touched by it, but it's still right here.
It can hit you at any moment.
Yeah, and my dad tells me, because I was probably a baby when it happened, but I was like, I didn't understand why we moved so much, younger. And he told me, and it stuck maybe 20 years later or so, where he was like, yeah, man, I was on the porch, and all I saw was like dust, like a dust, and you see dust. And my dad said he could see it. He could see a dude in the distance by the grocery store just like aiming at him on the porch. And I think that was the straw that literally and figuratively broke the camel's back. So yeah, like growing up in that area was, but at the same time, my high school homecomings and all our games used to get shot up. So it just was not weird to me.
Like, how do you process? All right. So the thing is that I never thought I'd see the day where, like, most of the humor I have is there's at least 20 tragic stories that would have paralyzed any other human being.
Yeah.
But now if I were a stand-up comic, like I'd be the king of comedy.
Well, the line that you're talking about that existed where it was like, how did I know to just be, if I showed you a picture of my mom, like I'm starting to realize more and more, no matter what the case is, my mom was like, she was like, it don't matter. Be who you are. And I see it. And I'm like looking at her now and I'm like, you have the years where your mama whoop your ass and you be like, you did this to me. And it's like, no, right. I did this to myself after this. After you can acknowledge that then it's your turn to realize that it's you doing this to yourself at this point. Right. So I'm looking at my mom and me in my older age, and I look at her and I'm like, my mom is maybe the coolest person. I'm like, I see why my dad married her. Like my mom, I get everything from my mom. I get my sense of style from my mom. I get my inability to see, my ability to see. I get all of it from my mom. And even when it comes to the part where I make the joke about, that's the last time I wore a suit, my mom believed who I was the whole time. She would see me drawing. She didn't question it.
So when you said I never want to wear a suit again, that was...
My mom did. She was like, well, do what you got to do. And my dad was like that.
You know the difference between now and... damn. This is the generational thing, man, because you were given agency.
Yeah, Mr. Andrews and my parents were like...
You were respected. Like, what do you think?
Oh, I wasn't respected.
Well...
I still got shot at. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was the... Ask Kamasi, he'd be like, Steve, they used to call me Snoopy because it was like, I couldn't... It was almost very... I used to look like a girl when I was a kid. I used to get, mistaken for a girl when I was a kid. Those used to be absolute horror stories and, trauma. Right. But it would be like... Even the way I dressed, Mr. Andrews, the way I would get picked on all the time. I just didn't care. It was like some Pootie Tang level. I was crashed out on arrival. So there's a part where you could do your worst. I'd be like, I do not care, bro. We gonna die. I'm like, you probably before me because at least I got on Mickey Mouse ears, so they won't shoot the mouse. But
have you ever met the cats from Fishbone?
Yeah,
I believe they weren't at your high school, but
yeah,
it's almost like the same existence. Where
Angelo, they're family. 7
weirdos
oh yeah,
made a pact to stick together. Wow, you unpack so much with that.
It's real. It's my parents.
I had to process that.
Yeah, that's real. My brother, there was the days. My brother used to get bullied all the time. My older brother, he would get picked on. People would steal his stick bag. Yeah, people would take his hats.
That's blasphemous.
I was that little brother, like, get your hands off my brother, and just jump on you and kill you. I was definitely that kid. You'd have to pull me. If I saw you touch my brother, you'd have to pull me off of you with a spatula. I would be on you like a badger. Wow. But it's also because I knew where subconsciously I think that somewhere between, it was almost like growing up, if I had to describe what it felt like when I can think about it cinematically, somewhere between Hollywood Shuffle, Don't Be a Menace to South Central, and literally Menace to Society for me. That's what my memory of said things of this nature were somewhere in between because I could see the line. I think the Wayans brothers made it clear to be able to see it. When I saw that, I saw Robert Townsend, when I saw the Wayans brothers, I was like, oh yeah, this is a shtick. I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna. It was like, okay, we be, it would exist. You'd be like, where you from, homie? They'd be like this. Go ahead, kill me, bro. I don't even know. I was like, do you know where you're from? That would be in the back of my mind. I wouldn't ask that.
Oh, I was like, and you lived?
Yeah, no. But if walking up on me and talking to me, I would imagine you couldn't tell what was going on. I would be talking about screwdrivers and hammers and like PlayStation. And so you would try to be banging on me, and I would be sitting there looking off into space, and I'd be like, I don't know. I probably sounded like Snoopy. That's what I was told when I was younger.
So my thing is, like, I had to get out hook or crook. And I don't know how I willed myself out of West Philly.
I've heard stories too.
Yeah, it's I willed myself out of it, but I mean, and I will admit, like when we finally moved to Europe, that was the first time where I could
Wow. Yeah.
I made it, and then the fear of I got to do what I got to do to never go back to West Philly, which is why this is one of 10 jobs. Like, I'm never going back to West Philly. But in my mind, it's always like, okay, I'll take this job and I'll write this book and I'll do this thing. For you, though, did you ever have a moment where, well, it almost sounds like you had no fear of whatever was going to happen to you, or was this so normal that it's like, hey, it is what it is? But, I mean, did you ever have a moment where you actually felt like, okay, that chapter of my life is now 2 blocks behind me in the rearview mirror? Or
I think that there was so many things to focus on that there's a part of me that I couldn't even think for the most part. Like, I mean, jokingly, it was kind of like, so I got to learn to read music, then I got to wear a suit, then I got to show up, and then I got to like keep my art book with me, and then I got to go to church after, and then I got to like have homework done, and then I got to go on tour with, and like, as part of me where I was like, I don't think at any point I could ever see. I was like, I didn't even know what death was. I was just kind of like, all right, I guess. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I wasn't thinking so much. I think there was a part where I was like, I wasn't aware of the fear, if that's a better way to put it. So like, I think I was just more so just kind of like observant of things.
Damn,
So-
that means you. All right, so I pay thousands of dollars to learn how to live in the present, and and the gift, and I maintain the gift of the first pandemic.
Yeah.
This is the second pandemic, by the way.
Yeah, we full in it.
Right. So the first pandemic, the gift was, okay, I got to get some therapy. I got a bunch of issues I've been holding on to. I can't get a proper relationship or a relationship with myself or anything's out. And so I had to do a lot of cleanup for 3 years during the pandemic. Now I figured out the only way I'm really going to survive this period that we're in with my brain intact is literally
Just right here.
this day, this great day. All right, tomorrow I'm gonna say the same thing. This day.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like think your parents instilled in you the idea of living in the present.
I'm actually going. This may trip you out a bit. It was actually Erica.
I can see that.
That was Erica that taught me that. There you
You're
go.
right. I can see that.
The younger me was just like, my art book was like another world for me. Playing with my friends was like the best thing ever. But it was on meeting Erica that for me was like, right here. This is where you're at. This is you can always do this. But it was her that taught me right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Erica. Badula.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a regular job?
No. I don't think working at a comic store is considered regular either. I was like,
Are you big? You're a big.
I'm a comic nerd.
So, do you like comics? No. Like, how bad is your collection?
It's crash out worthy. It's worth somebody being like, you need help. But
What's your most valuable one?
most valuable comic?
Like, are you I got to get edition 1 of?
Yeah, I'm definitely that guy.
Okay.
For me, at this moment in life, I Again, I look at Marvel and DC like it's like Bloods and Crips. There's a part where my dad.
What side are you on?
I am a through and through Marvel kid. Let's be clear about that one. The bullpen crash out level insanity from the 40s. I go, let's go. That's, you know why Batman sticks around too, because that's like crash out level like depression. Like if you ever watch those early Batmans and you go like, what was Batman? It was like that was full blown autism. Like that was like,
yes.
And you just go,
he's still a hero of mine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they made him rich way later, but it was like bro was in soup lines with a sock on his head, like helping the cops. Like there's no such thing. And so like that's why Batman will always stick to me. But like that's like real. Like there's some realness to Batman. But Marvel for me as a child was everything, and it still is, because it even informed the next generation of comics where we have the Image comics and all this stuff like that. It was Marvel that did that. Like if Marvel didn't pay Todd McFarlane absolute shite to do everything, if he didn't stand up and go, "Who's coming with me?" and leave to make Image,
all right,
we wouldn't have this fandom like we do. From the 60s, the Silver Age, from the 60s into where Todd McFarlane shows up and leaves and creates Image, and all the things that have been from the newer writers like Trad Moore to Donnie Cates to Ryan Stegman. Like, yeah, no, I'm a real nerd with this stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have that.
You know, first I felt insecure because
I do not hide
one of my biggest shames in the world is because people think that I'm that level of nerd. Around like maybe 7 years ago, it started being, hey man, I know you have every record that ever existed, but I got something you don't got. And then they'll pull out this thing, and instantly I got to get performative like, no. Oh, yo. Oh my God. You see that shit? No, when I tell you, I know I own 18 of like maybe the first words that God himself printed on paper as a cartoon or some sort of original hieroglyph. Like literally, like when it's, and again, people are like, well, what does he want for his birthday? Well, he has every record. He has all the Soul Trains, right?
Yeah.
Is he in the comics? And my assistants don't know.
Yeah.
And so I can say that I have an immaculate, like, ace comic collection.
Ugh.
I have no clue what the hell I have, but I do know based on the, you know what this is, right? Dog, come on, man.
Yeah.
What's my name? Of course I know what it is.
Yeah.
So that's, I wasn't allowed, and that's what I want to talk to you about, especially with your love of anime.
Yeah.
A big part of my turnaround was me, so the first time I did psychedelics, I watched Fantasia.
Wow.
And
I think that's the right way to do it, actually.
That's the only way to do it. Like, for real, because there's inspiration. Like, for a person that's trying to channel his higher consciousness and all that stuff, like, that is... Yeah. And for me, I after watching it 17 times, I'm like, what else is out there? And people are like, dude, how are you not on anime? Your boy watches that. What is... Talk about just your obsession and entry into... cartoons, anime, comics. What is it?
What is it?
This is your Soul Train. What Soul Train is to me, this is... What is it?
It just depends on where you're starting from, because there's a part where I'm genuinely like, there's different eras of it again when it comes from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s again with the coming out of World War II, where it's like, Betty Boop at the time was kind of like the more influential character in comics and cartoons, and so they were kind of following suit and trying to like, appeal to the American audience, which created like weeaboo culture or like Japanophile level otaku kind of stuff like that. But there's a part where it's also kind of like somewhere along the lines of between working at a comic store and then growing up with Kamasi, we were really into that. So there's a part where it was kind of like, my first experience with anime was like in maybe, I don't even know what to call it at this point. I would say this is the Silver Age of the 80s into the 90s was like the Silver Age, because now we're kind of living in a post of it. And a lot of the time, the things that people get excited about it is really like not worth his weight in gold. I'm gonna just be honest, because the reality is the level of manic depressive that it would create with the art. If they're not depressed, this is just not gonna be good. I'm sorry, it's just what it is. Just like music. But it's the part where I'm just like, it just depends on where you're asking that from. And for me, where it starts is the realization that everything we watched in the 80s was Japanese animation.
Okay. So once a year I'll allow myself to watch Tariq's Hot 97 freestyle.
Yeah.
Because, especially in the age of the podcast, bro.
Yeah, I probably need some magnesium. I'm probably like right on the edge of crashing out and running into the
No. But here's the thing. I never thought I'd get the ideal intellectual explanation of comic history than what you just gave me.
I definitely need some like chamomile tea because I'm like
Here's the thing, man.
It's like I started boxing. Is it?
I'm gonna go slightly rogue. I'm gonna have another Jamie Lee Curtis moment where I'm gonna do this. I owe you an apology. No, I owe you an apology. Okay, so before, the 2020 thing was me dealing with a lot of issues. But I was so socially avoidant and had anxiety about just people in general. And the way that you were like, yo, man, like, let's hang out, let's jam. And the way I would try to make Matrix bullet dodge because, there was a whole nother, it was you, Glasper, Chris Dave, oh, man, let's hang out, let's And I would have so much, literally, like, anxiety, like.
We were crazy.
No, but
the alcoholism
thing was, I think I was too. And I saw that you guys were my squad,
yeah, man.
But I just saw y'all as so technically advanced past me that man. I think subconsciously I thought, nah, man, I'm gonna get caught. Like they'll find me out. Like everyone always lives in this whole like I'm gonna be found out as a fraud thing. And I know like people,
a lot of failed marriages based on.
Find out about me.
They found out.
No, but is that way with Kamasi? I know Lotus has to be feeling some sort of way. Like we have not spoken. We might have said one sentence to each other, and I'm a massive Lotus fan.
Yeah, he's like Batman. He is like literally like Batman. He's like,
But I'm regretting now. Like and now in my head, I'm just thinking like, man, like all the enlightenment I could have had in 2010 on, if I just texted this motherfucker back when he texted, like I'm now regretting the friendship we should have had the last 15 years just based on this.
Oh man,
because this is our first real conversation, even though we see each other all the time.
Yeah.
And all right, so this is Evolve Mirror Talk. I'm not trying to carjack Jake's looking at me like this is about to turn into Open Mike Eagle thing. All right. Who are the 5 creatives that are your North Star?
5 creatives that are my North Star?
Yes. Any area. Doesn't have to be musicians.
Okay. Definitely Stanley Clark. All
right, because I'm from Philly. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, what era of Stanley Clark is yours? Because
tell you something.
Wait. Speaking of which, are you Team School Days or Teen
Town?
Teen Town.
Ooh.
And is
I know what you mean.
Is Teen Town the solo that you have to memorize in order to get respect?
I think that any transcribing of Jocko's said knowledge or solos, it's in the transcribing the solos, it's there's a path to understanding to get better, which is why it's so key. You know what I mean? Like specifically with Jocko reminds me of Charlie Parker because of the part where it's like the phrasing and the types of things that he would do are like, it's a vast comprehension of the chordal structures of things to where it's like, it doesn't have to start in the same place. It doesn't have to start all these things, these tropes that we've come to. Even if like even where Frank Zappa said, there's no such thing. You're not improvising. It's like it's okay, Frank Beethoven. Like all right, we all suck. Thank you. But there's a part where it's like Jocko's like one of my favorite solos other than Teen Town actually is on Ursula Dudziak's album, where him and Michael Urbaniak and Ursula Dudziak, who's married to Michael Urbaniak, I'm pretty sure they're still married. It's his solo in the beginning of Roxana for me. It's not, Teen Town was just iconic, but his solo in the beginning of Roxana on
I gotta go back to this. Okay.
It's this moment, and there's a story. I think there was always even the story of him, like the way he would read and how he would turn papers upside down and read the stuff. He was just like this is one of those moments, and it's like
I never knew you could do that.
Yeah, Jocko was full tilt. But if you're asking me like Teen Town versus School Days,
yeah,
Stanley to me, in all of his knowledge and everything that he was bringing into his own music, is unmatched. It's unmatched. It's again from the Pharoah Sanders years to the Return to Forever years. This man is carrying the legacy of jazz on his back with Tony Williams, and you know what I'm saying, and spearheading it.
Yes,
Alongside the other ones that we love. But the reality is, Stanley to me, there's Jocko's first album for me. It has a era of this. If you're putting it against those two, which are kind of like they're two different eras of their creative process and who they are. School Days for me versus Weather Report's Teen Town to me. Oh my God, I'm Stanley all day. And the reason why is because everything from the personnel to how Stanley presented himself in this moment, there was no guessing what type of artist Stanley was. You know, like at the part where Jocko ended his solo album and him playing piano,
right? You
were left to be like, what the hell? What is this? What is this? And it's like it gave way to so many other things. But Stanley was like, I think that Life Is Just a Game changed my life. Like there's me before hearing Life Is Just a Game. There's me, my mom paying me $20 to learn Stanley Clarke solo.
Really?
And then there's me realizing it's him singing what he's saying, and like the whole span of the album, him doing this concerto at the end of the album of Life Is Just a Game. It still haunts me to this day. That helicopter sound at the end of the song, I can see myself. I almost like it's a straight line to I don't have, my memory is really blurry and fuzzy.
You were totally making me recontextualize like every.
Stanley's the man. He is the man.
One of the coolest moments I ever saw, Prince was in concert, and I believe Stanley was in the audience.
That had to be funny.
He got on bass, and they did School Days verbatim.
I think I saw footage of this. Did you post that?
I might have, but he did it verbatim, and that's the first time I said, oh, so Prince does know ventriloquism. Because there was a thing where I'd ask him, like he would do a cover song, but then like not learn the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think that was just an exercise for him to not be too derivative of someone's thing, but just let it inspire you enough to get into it, and then I do my own thing. But when he did it note for note, I was like, oh, okay, so you can show me that you've proven. Okay, I got that. Speaking of bass, the last time we played, you grabbed a 4-string.
Yeah.
And I'd never, I'm thinking, oh, any bass player can get on any axe and bring the magic up. What is the muscle memory like when you don't have the 2 extra strings on the Berserker to go to?
Well, in a way, it's like, again, it's a matter of knowing the neck to a major degree. So there's a part of it where I'm just kind of like, I think knowing the neck in this manner, it's like you don't ever not know those 4 strings. So even knowing the different places that the octaves exist, or where, it's like, but it's always about, a lot of the time, those 2 other strings just offer a different type of facility that's a bit more stated than just a simple line, simple bass line. So a lot of the time, it's more so like, it's pretty fun for me. Like, because I already know sometimes somebody's usually like, oh yeah, here's a real challenge of 4-string. And it's like, oh, there's a real challenge of 4-string. It's like, there's a part of me that's like, however, whatever works, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's like, most of like, I wouldn't even, going into the years of the records of me playing on 4-string, I don't even have to, it's like I could.
Right. Is there a smaller bodied axe that can accommodate a 6-string, or do you?
I would never wish that on anybody. That would be like.
But how's your upper strength? Because like I know now Bootsy Collins doesn't play his bass for that very reason. He's just like, my back is killing me, and I never knew that you guys have to deal with.
I'm going out on the. I'm dying on this hill. Let it disintegrate my back, bro. I'm ready. I mean, that was probably the biggest pause thing I've ever said in my life. But I'm saying, like, for me, I just knew, like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do that. I will do that till my dying day. You know, like, in the manner in which I saw, you know, like when we watched Ozzy in this final performance, where he's like, "You're gonna have to pry me from this." I don't care. It's like, the reality is, a lot of the time, it's about what it is to you, and it's like some Bruce Lee stuff. It's like, it is what you say it is. Mm-hmm. I don't go around telling people I've been in pain the whole time, playing, my hands hurt. That's just what comes with it, and it only hurts when you stop.
Okay, I have one last question. I have a trillion questions to ask you, but I know you're on schedule. When you lose a trusted collaborator, how do you cope through that? Because so the night I happened to see you like the night before that, I knew D'Angelo was going to, express. So I was like really in my feelings, and I know that you went on the record a lot talking about like Mac's passing and how that affected your life and everything. And like I so wanted to come up to you to be like, how do you cope with this shit? Because I didn't want to get to a place where I like start, and I don't mean self-harming, like whatever. I mean, like me, I could binge eat or whatever, like anything that puts me in danger. How did you allow yourself to have that grief as far as like not affecting your creativity, or did it affect your creativity?
Yeah. Oh man. Whew. Yeah. Losing Mac was very complicated. Very complicated to navigate. It was like, thank God I had Flying Lotus there with me in that moment, because it's like he kept me moving forward until fail. Mm-hmm. It was like we were working on it was very weirdly like, it became this dark pit of a hole in my life that was like, it was just like, it felt like I've had a few moments with, like from Austin to Meg to, Zane to a few friends that were like, that crossed over in this manner. But this moment was so deafening, and it wasn't just because like there was my Mac that was dying, and then there was the world's Mac that was dying. And I mean, and there's a part where for a long time, if I had to compare it to something, it was like somebody threw a grenade next to me, and I couldn't see straight for years. And it goes in waves.
How hard was it to release this song into the world and not hang on to it for like yourself?
This song, the reason why this felt like such the right thing to do with this is because of what it did for me when I would hear it. Mm-hmm. I think that in so many places that the trauma could like rest, which it does, there's a part where when I heard this song, it's like the thing where we were talking about Stanley Clarke with Life is Just a Game. When I hear this song, I can only see the good that we did. I can only see the person he really was. Mm-hmm. So I would never cry hearing this. That song to me,
celebratory,
is the Mac that I knew. Everything from his silliness at which he approaches the whole entire thing, and like even the message of it, and like knowing the things around and what this was for us, and like I would see the one time I would wear a suit. And it was like, we always joked about the video. We would always be like, man, how are we gonna shoot this video? And I was like, we get some Ultra Goliath glasses with like some tuxedos with the frilly shirts, and the guitar, and I got the bass, and
all right,
we just being like somewhere between David Ruffin and the Temptations, and just like it was really like this thing where we were like, nah, man, this was like this Mac. Again, I've compared him to like a one-man Rat Pack. You know what I mean? Like he was the embodiment of cool with this stuff. So even in this moment for me, I only saw me and him in the suits with the glasses, with the bass and the guitar, just talking shit. You know what I mean?
I thank you, and I apologize for this long overdue conversation.
Nah, man.
I'm a massive fan of your work. So,
Quest, my whole life I've been a fan of your work.
Well, I thank you for that, man. And hopefully this will be the first of many conversations we have.
My man.
Thundercat, thank you. This was the Questlove Show. Thundercat, our guest. And we'll see you on the next go-round, all right? See you. The Questlove Show is hosted by me, Amir Questlove Thompson. The executive producers are Sean G., Brian Calhoun, and me. Produced by Brittany Benjamin and Jake Payne. Produced for iHeart by Noel Brown. Edited by Alex Conroy. iHeart video support by Mark Canton. Logos, graphics, and animation by Nick Aloe. Additional support by Lance Coleman. Special thanks to Kathy Wrong. Special thanks to Sugar Steve Mandel. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share the Questlove Show wherever you stream your podcast. Make sure you follow us on socials. That's at QLS. Check out hundreds and hundreds of QLS episodes, including the Questlove Supreme shows in our podcast archives. Questlove Show is a production of iHeartRadio.